Let's process the response by each individual API. Let's see. So here are the 4 responses. So this is the response by states. What I have done is I'll copy this response, and I have created another folder called mock response over here, and let's create response file for JSON for states.json file. This will help me in order to analyze the responses of each API call. Now this is the response by district. Basically I need to pass on district with the state ID, and it returns me this data. Let's pass it to district over here, and then there is this API calendar by district. Just copy the response, and this is appointment by district, and then there is appointment by pin code. So now I have got the response of all the 4 APIs. Let's reformat it. Let's make use of the object file which we have created. So let's go to this file and start one by one. So this is the states response, and I'm over here. Let's call it as a data, and let's start processing it. First of all, I'm importing everything from objects. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say state object for state in data. Now the data is coming under this states key, so I would say get states. Now this key is a list, that is why I am applying iteration over here, and in this key I am getting state ID and state name. So if I go to this particular object, I have defined the state ID and state name because I was expecting the same. So let's do one thing, let's say state. So whatever data I'll get, I'll pass on to this class. I'll create one object, and in return I'll return response. So this is what I'm expecting. I'm just I don't want a plain response, I want objects of data. Let's go over there. We need to pass on write some method. So first of all, let's define constructor, and since I am sending in this format, I have to receive it, and let's define state ID. Because I know state ID is coming, so over there I can pass the state name as well, and that's it. I don't need to do anything more over here. Let's call the state now. So yes, as you can see, I am getting the state, but this is not very readable. Let's add a representation. So I can say state with state ID, or let's call it like state name, and in bracket I can state ID. I need to implement this function represent. Yes, so now it is readable. I know this is a state Ladakh and this is the state ID. This format, F format, is provided by Python 3.7. If this is confusing, I can do the same with this stuff. Let me do that. So these curly braces, they are going to replace the value over here, and the rest everything is what is the string format. I know this is my format, state, and then my state name, and then in brackets state ID. So pretty much this is it. We are going to repeat the same process with all the other objects. If I call, let's see, if I call the district, that districts, and say I pass on some state ID which is 21 for Maharashtra, it is coming like this, right? Let's implement the same in district as well. Just here we know it is going to be district, and then let's call it district D, and let's see the district response. In this I am going to get districts. So yeah, so in the response we are going to fetch districts, and whatever list I get, I'll pass this to the district objects. And the same way what we implemented over there, we need to implement this as well. So let's just do one thing. Let's create a base class. And what we can do is whatever we get in the keyword argument, let's set attribute self key, and then so what we are doing with this method is whatever we are getting in the keyword arguments, we are going to initialize a class variable with that particular value, key and value. So and in our base class, what we can do is, instead of explicitly passing this thing, we can say we can initialize the super method. So this thing we can provide to we can repeat the same process for all the objects, because essentially we are going to get we need the same thing. So in appointments by district, what we are going to get is centers. So we'll get centers, and here I know it is center object. So this is how it is going to work. And let's see if we have not added any representation method in centers. Let's do that. Seven 3 7 and so yes, we get the center ID and the name with a list of this thing. Now let's just see. We have got the data. Let's centers. Let's say centers. Let's see what it holds. Sorry. So it has all these values: center ID, name, address, and everything. Also, we can see there is some session. So what we need to do is, since we know that session is another list of objects which we have created, so we need to do some more calculation. We need to add some more code over here. Let's see, self dot sessions equal to, what we need to do is we need to repeat the same sort of process where we create session object. Yeah, so we know that sessions. So what we are going to do is, every session we are going to convert it into a sessions object. And this session object, let's define a representation for that. let's say date, and let's call it as vaccine, and then let's say available capacity as well. So we can say session, let's call it vaccine, which is going to available. Then that is yeah, so this is the representation. Let's see. Oops, it has to be this. Now it is object, and I can see this object holds all this value. So with this process, what we are doing is we are actually converting data in the response data in the format which we want, and after converting all the API response to objects, we can actually perform a lot of functions. We can actually do a lot of transformation or whatever we require. Let's repeat the same process for this as well. So essentially appointments by pin code, it is going to be like the same. We are going to get centers, and then we have this, and then so essentially it is going to get the same data. So we just repeat it, the same stuff, and let's see. Yes, it is, and the session again the same stuff. So yeah, pretty much it. So what we have learned is we are interacting with the third-party APIs. We are processing the response in the desired in the class objects format, and what we can do is, what more we can do over here is every class, now since every entity represents an object, now this object can be processed. Like if I want to put any logic, like on the basis of availability or on the basis of type of vaccine availability, whatever I want to do, I can add lot more functionality. I can add lot more methods which is required. We will see in the later stage. But now, right now, a base functionality is completed where we can interact with the third party, and the data we get, we are processing the data in the desired format. In the next session, we will start with the Telegram bot. We will see the functionality provided by Telegram bot, and then we will try to integrate the functionality of this with the Telegram bot. That's it. Thank you.